Hey, everybody. How are you? Happy Sunday. Wow, 3 people already here. Oh my gosh. Let me get the show going. For those of you new, Sunday nights, for how long have we been doing this? Um, oh my gosh, almost a year, over a year, because I started them when I was living in Syracuse. For you, let me share this out. So hopefully everybody's doing great on Sunday. Let me see now. Okay, hang in there, hang in there. I'll be right with you. Okay, we got that. And we probably could call this show the worst thumbnail ever. I hate, if any of you are graphics people and you would like to do a Let's Talk Homelessness thumbnail and send it to me, I would love you forever. So I'm actually sharing this now publicly. So for those of you new, we have been doing this chat for, let's say, a year now. And give you a little history. Sorry, I'm just sharing on social media here. So we've been doing this chat for about a year. And when I started, I'm a television producer. I'm a dinosaur broadcast guy, right? And I was producing shows like, we had Manda call in, we had Addie call in, we had the CEO of Baltimore's Homeless Healthcare, who I think is just brilliant. He called in, and these are really great shows. And I looked into the chat room, and you guys just all wanted to talk to me. So then, for the last year or so, we've been just having a Sunday night chat. I've enjoyed the time. I've learned a lot from you guys. Hopefully, you all have learned something about homelessness, marketing, whatever, from me. And so it's been about a year. And last week was the first time that I openly shared it on social media. Now, I've been sharing it in our online support group for homeless people, and the chat room is lots of my homeless friends. In fact, moderator Addie, I don't know if she's on yet. There she is homeless. I saw Vicky in the room, Derek. There's a bunch of homeless people in the chat room. So that's just amazing. And we've been doing this. So I'm now opening it up to everybody. And last Sunday was the first time I shared it on Twitter. And oh my gosh, it kind of got into a little bit of a strange conversation. But it is what it is. So here it is, Sunday night. Hopefully you guys all are having a marvelous time. I shared on Twitter, and I put it in the description, not the description, in the community section of YouTube, asking if anybody had any questions or topics they'd like to talk about. One person did ask, where am I? And I'm currently in Denver. So I answered that one. But if you guys have any suggestions on how we can kind of continue this online Sunday night interaction throughout the week so I can maybe better prepare shows. And maybe you guys just want to talk because that's all you've wanted to do for the last year every Sunday night. And maybe it's just me, the TV dinosaur producer guy, that is still trying to produce some kind of show. I don't know. You guys tell me. You guys, this is your show. You tell me what you want. So let me take a moment and say hello to everybody. Asim, hello. Ethan, what's up? Dean, how are you? Alexis, Carrie, good to see you, Asim. And if I pronounce, so many YouTubers and people have these really creative usernames or they're from different cultures. If I pronounce the name right, I am sorry. I mean, some of these names are just beautiful. I'm the guy that spells neighbor Nabor to begin with. So I'm just giving you that disclaimer up front. Hey, Ashley, poo. Hello, Betty. Hello from Pennsylvania. Whereabouts in Pennsylvania? Hey, Mike and Mary. Do I have Mike or Mary? Hi, Kelly. Hey, Patricia. How are you? Yeah, I'm in Denver currently. I'm in Denver for one more week. Vicky is in Nashville. She's one of the wonderful people who I connect with online that happens to be homeless. This chat room is going to be moderated by Addie and Derek. There's a few others. They're all homeless. So homeless people are moderating this chat room. And just so you know, you guys, if you want to slam me, that's fine. If you want, I believe in open discussion. I believe I learn and grow when you guys disagree with me, and we have an open discussion. So I just want to state up front, the chat room, what's not tolerated is personal attacks and racism. But if you want to tell me to hit the road, even in colorful language, that's fine. I work with homeless people. I'm told to fuck off all the time. Okay. If you're and Ian, who runs Org Code, says it so eloquently, much more eloquently than I do, is if you are not being told fuck off and you work with homeless people, you're probably not doing your job right. You're probably not working with the right population. So, Patricia, mom's in a nursing home now. She tried calling and she couldn't talk. So it was frustrating, I'm sure, to her, even more so than me. But I don't know. I really don't know. The nursing home is really good. They will tell me what's going on. But thank you very much for asking. I'm sure she's fine, or somebody would have called me. Christina, whereabouts in upstate New York? I live in Binghamton. Alexis, I am so sorry you are homeless. For everybody that is homeless or formerly homeless, we facilitate an online support group for homeless people. It is not for, if you're not homeless, you're just curious, or just even if you want to help homeless people, that's great. Love you. There's plenty of places on Facebook for you to connect with other people like that. This is a peer support group. So that means it's for homeless people and formerly homeless people. So Alexis, visit wearevisible.com and we would love to have you. Anybody else that's formerly homeless or currently homeless, we would love to have you. I just want to state again, if you're not homeless or you've never been homeless, please, this group is just for homeless people or people with lived experience of homelessness. Abstracto, hello. Sleepy Banton Beach. Is that right? I gotta get. I'm going to be in Miami in September. So after this, for anybody who's keeping score, Denver, then Gary, Indiana, then Columbia, South Carolina, then Charlotte, North Carolina. There's going to be a trip to Austin, Texas, possibly a trip to London, very possibly a trip to London for a secret project. And then, oh my gosh, I forgot. You know what's coming up? So, Invisible People was chosen by YouTube to produce 4 VR 180. So VR 180 is a little different than VR 360. 360 is all the way around. VR 180, you can see it on the phone. Where's my phone? You can see it on your phone, really good. You can see it on a laptop, a desktop. When it's in the headset, oh my gosh, when I put my hands up, the color on this camera goes off. When you watch it on headset, it is 360, not 360, 3D. When you watch it on a headset, it's 3D and it looks so cool. So coming up by July 22nd, which is like a week away, we will be uploading at least one. A couple of them might be after the 22nd, but we will be uploading at least one. And the first one is going to be Eric panhandling in San Francisco. And I have to tell you, it's amazing. I am so stoked about this. I don't know if you guys are interested. Let me know. You know that YouTube has that premiere feature where we can all watch together. Should I do that? Should we do a premiere for the first VR 180 or maybe all 4 of them? What do you think? So Lincoln, you're talking about you're going to be home soon with your dog. And again, please, I strongly recommend, connecting with us online because there's other homeless people that have pets currently or were on the street with their pets that can better answer your question than I can. It's a huge challenge. It's a huge challenge having pets. I mean, homelessness is a huge challenge to begin with. And added to that, having a pet. And I know you and every other homeless person takes care of their pet. You know what I did this week? So we had a challenge. Do you guys remember we had a challenge that you're supposed to do something good every day for somebody else, but never tell anybody about it? How many of you did that? Well, I remembered because I'm going to tell you about something I did, but I already shared it on social media. So I was walking with a couple of travelers. I gave them socks. If you don't know, travelers are homeless youth, kind of a subculture of homeless youth. They hop trains, many of them do. They travel around the country, hence the name travelers. I love travelers. So I was talking to a group of travelers, a couple travelers, and we went walking and they're going to show me where everybody hangs out. And I noticed that the leash for their dog was really short. And it looked like it had, been broken. It was a chain and it probably broke a couple of times. The dog was a medium-sized dog. So I just asked him, I said, do you guys need a leash? And they said yes. And I looked on my phone. There was a pet store about, I don't know, half a mile away. I said, are you guys going to be here for a while? They said yes. So I took off to the pet store and I bought him a leash. Oh my God. Those things are expensive. Wow. Anyways, I went back and I gave him the leash, and it's really that simple. So for those of you that are watching that you don't know what to do about homelessness, or you don't know how to engage with people, safety first. You'll hear me repeat safety first as a priority, because if you don't feel safe, or if it doesn't look safe, or it's something where you feel extremely uncomfortable security wise, I mean, talking to strangers in an elevator is uncomfortable. But if you feel like, your safety is at risk, don't do it. But if you're feel safe enough, just listen to people, engage in a conversation. I know Jane from K-Town once told me about a gentleman that just needed eye drops. So you, like with the dog leash, you talk to somebody, you find out what they need, and if you can, go help them. It's really, really that simple. And if we all did that, wow, wouldn't the world be a better place? Hey, Jill, hello. Hey, Jeffa. Hello, hello, hello. Jason Gates, how are you? Very blessed. Hello, Alabama. Dio, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right, but thank you very much. I was in Hamilton last year. What's interesting is that I do my rants here, and I know it's Derek and Charlie and Vicky and all my homeless friends in the chat room, having a wonderful time with you guys, engaging in some great conversations. I wish there was a way that YouTube could. I wish we could have a video chat with everybody. That would be really, really, really cool. But thank you, Addie, and thank you, Derek and Charlie, when he's not working, and Vicky and everybody else that comes into the chat room to, talk about homelessness. August, that's awesome. So Elena asked about the Samaritan app. I don't like the Samaritan app, and I will tell you why. The Samaritan app reinforces harmful stereotypes. What the Samaritan app says is homeless people can't be trusted, that they're all drug addicts. And I can tell you, Addie in the chat room is not a drug addict. Derek is not a drug addict. Um, Homeless people aren't drug addicts. I mean, there's people, most drug users are right down the street from you. They're in houses and condos, right? So what the Samaritan app does is it says, and the people that developed it have good intentions. I've talked to this. I'll go into that in a second. So the Samaritan app is saying, oh, they can't be trusted with money, so give to us, and then we'll decide what they should get. Come on. And in fact, the CEO had contacted me. He wanted me to help the Samaritan app. Now, first off, the homeless person is given a beacon, which is a tracker. That's just really spooky. You know what I mean? I don't trip about that too much, because we all carry trackers in our pocket one way or another. I don't like how it changes color temperature when I. So the tracker thing doesn't spook me out too much. But the CEO asked me to help. And I told him, I gave him, my thought about how it reinforces harmful stereotypes. And he says, well, we did research, and people, why they don't give money to homeless people is because they're worried they're going to go give drugs. Well, yeah. So he's basically validating why I don't like this app. What they need to do is educate people. It's okay to give money. Homeless people are not all drug addicts. I mean, there's certain things that only money can buy. So the CEO, keeps on going. And I said, I'll tell you what, if you send me your paycheck every week or month or whenever you get paid, and then I am allowed to decide on how you spend your money. And no, you can't buy a beer. No. He never called me after that. I told him, I said, if you let me decide how you spend your paycheck, then I will help support your Samaritan app, And for those of you, you might not know what it is. The Samaritan app, it's big in Seattle. I believe they're going to expand to other cities. The homeless person is given a beacon. So when you're walking down the street and an app goes off on your phone, you can give them $5, $10, $25. But then the money goes to an agency and they decide what the money is spent on. Now, the homeless person can, in all honesty, the homeless person can say, well, this is what I need, but it's still governed. So here's the thing. When you're homeless, the overwhelming feeling that of lack of worth, lack of value. I mean, and one of the first things to go and start healing is being able to manage money and trust and do, I remember going a little story here. So I went to, when I was in recovery, I knew that, and this is just me, okay? I knew at that particular time, because I was just getting sober, I knew that if I had a large sum of money, that I would probably go drink and use. So I was at an AA meeting, and an old timer named Charlie came up. In the church world, we call it the evangelical handshake, when somebody shakes your hand and there's money in the handshake. So I don't know what you call it in the AA world. And he gave me $20. So now it's like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Well, I could go get a meal. I could maybe buy a few bus tokens. It wasn't quite enough for a monthly bus pass. I really didn't know what to do with it, but then I kept walking, and I saw a post office box rental for $15. And I went in and I got myself a post office box, and I had a key, and I had real estate, right? I had a place that was mine. It might have been just this tiny box that only envelopes fit in. But when I was laying in a park homeless, it gave me hope. I mean, I finally owned, so I had a key. I mean, I know, to anybody who's never been homeless, this might be a hard paradigm, but if you're homeless, having a key to something is so important. I mean, so this whole experience, I took the $5 and I went and bought some food. So I spent the $20, but I did it in a way that was responsible, and it was my choice. I made the choice. Now, I could have gone and, bought drugs and bought beer, but I made that choice, and my self-worth started growing, and my own personal value started growing. Well, the Samaritans app takes that all away. And you know what? When I was a drug addict, if I wanted drugs, I'm going to get them. Governing that my donations is not going to stop me. I mean, so the people that are doing the Samaritan app, they have good intentions, but it reinforces harmful stereotypes. One other thing, and you guys, I don't know, on invisiblepeople.tv, there's a article about giving money to homeless people is okay. And it is okay. It's more than okay. And one story I tell a lot is I had a homeless friend and he's standing in front of a drugstore. I think it was a CVS. And he had a sign, I need a toothbrush. And people kept, one of the thing that we like to give to homeless people the most is our half-eaten sandwiches, right? And we go to Cheesecake Factory and we get too much on our plate, and then we put it in a doggy bag and we leave. I can't wait to see a homeless person so I can give them this. So my friend, all he needs is a toothbrush. He's standing with a sign, I need a toothbrush. And people are putting, a number 4 meal or a Happy Meal or hamburgers at his feet. Even with 3 or 4 bags of food at his feet, people are still giving him food. He never got enough money for that toothbrush. I mean, okay, back to the chat room. Hey, science nerd, hello. Hey, Miss Morty, this is no fundraising here. I'm sorry. If you need a hot meal, great. Not here. No, people, no. I don't fundraise here. Nobody else is fundraising here. Because here's the thing is I don't know. I can't validate that person. I'm sure Maz Morty is a wonderful person and maybe in desperate need of food. But it could be somebody scamming, and that's just not cool. I mean, there's got to be a way. Let's talk about GoFundMe for a second. I get a lot of pushback on invisible people if I do not add a GoFundMe. And so here's the thing, I have a little criteria. First off, I think it's GoFundMe's a little bit irresponsible that they don't do some kind of education, because people are so desperate at times. They need surgery for their child, or they need, a medication, or they're going to lose their housing, and they're heartbreaking stories. And as a last ditch effort, they go and they start a GoFundMe page, right? And it doesn't work because people don't surf the internet saying, hey, who am I going to go give money to today? It doesn't work like that. You have to have a network. And even with Invisible People's large network, we don't raise a lot of money. So I'm unemployed without income and I lose my health care really soon. It is a crisis. So for Invisible People, for me to add a GoFundMe on a page, and we recently did with Kimberly and B, because 1, I knew them. 2, I knew that a large sum of money was going to be safe. Remember my earlier story where I talked about a large sum of money could have hurt me? Well, I have to know that that person, or there's a network around them, that they're going to be safe. Also, the money has to go directly to them. You remember the Samaritans, whatever rant I just went through? The money, it can't go to me and then go to them. It has to go to them. And most important, they have to want it. I've asked people, they met, I knew that they were going to be responsible with money. I knew that they were uh, had a laptop and were able to set it up. I knew all that, right? And they didn't want it. They didn't want it. It's their choice. So here's the thing I learned. And please, I don't mean this in any negative way, because charity makes you feel good, and feeling good is okay. There's nothing wrong with feeling good. And people have needs. You can help people. Kimberly and B are desperately in need of a commercial van for their landscaping business. People are donating. That is wonderful. I don't mean to be taking anything away from that. And especially the donors. If you're somebody, William, I don't know if he's online, William, who I know is on low income subsidy himself, he's often giving to people. And it's just amazing. If you're a generous person and you have money to give and time to give, God bless you. Keep doing that. But the GoFundMe, why people are so urgent on it, is that they want to feel good themselves because they're feeling bad. And the GoFundMe, we've done a bunch. I mean, for Amanda, we raised $24,000. Amanda got herself out of homelessness. God bless her. But each person who's got a bit of money never got out of homelessness. It helped their life for a short time. That's a good thing. But this theory that I'm going to donate a couple of $1,000s to a person and that their homelessness is going to end is kind of, a little bit whack. Anyways. Hey, Deanna, I'm sorry you've been out without a home. Please, everybody, if you've been homeless, or if you've been homeless or currently homeless, please join us online. We have an online Facebook group for homeless and currently or formerly homeless. I'm getting, you know what? I'm always honest with you guys, right? Now that we're public, it took me, we've been doing this for a year every Sunday night, but now I'm sharing it on my Facebook profile and I'm sharing it on Twitter. I'm a little more self-conscious. So please bear with me. I guess I'll get used to it. Addie, I wish you were everybody that is now, everybody, not just in the chat. I wish there was no homelessness. Oh my gosh. ENG, thanks for the sub. Aisha, oh my God, are you outside? I hope not. Gwar, hello. Tanya, yeah, I don't, a couple $1,000s, it make a difference, but it doesn't make a difference. Let's unpack that. I'm not really just talking at you. So let's say I got a big drama with the Yang people over this. Let's say you got $5,000. Okay. So now you got to find a landlord. and the landlord's going to run a credit check. And chances are anybody that's been out on the streets doesn't have good credit. Then they're going to wonder where you were employed. Because if you can't pay rent on a regular basis, they're not going to rent to you. They're not. The chances of taking that $5,000, which is about 2 months, 3 months rent in most any city, right? You got to subtract out last month's rent. Well, if you have bad credit, they'll take 3 months rent. So let's say rent is $1,000. Okay, you've got first month's rent, security deposit, double security if you have bad. Even let's just say normal people. Let's say you got good credit. So there's $2,000. Leases are 6 months. So now you've got enough money for 3 months, but you don't have food, you don't have electricity, you don't have money for your phone, you don't have money to get a bus, you don't have anything else. Yeah, we'll help. So, okay, now you can't find a landlord to rent to you. So let's go into a hotel. And what happens in the weekly rate hotels, many of them are horrible places. I can't stay in them. Coming up in one of the cities that we're running a campaign in, all there are the low-end weekly rate hotels, and I can't stay in them because I know I protect my sobriety. I have 24 years sober, and I don't go places where I might be at risk of getting wasted or doing something stupid, right? So I got to protect myself. But anyways, let's say you got $5,000. Usually the weekly rate hotels are around $800-900 or more. You still need phone, food, transportation, so that you're inside. You got a shower for a couple months, but it doesn't really help you a whole lot. It really doesn't. So Derek just shares you need to get up in Oakland, which makes sense. 6,500 to get into a studio apartment. Studio apartment. So young Buddha asks a really good question. Would I ever be open to smoking some weed and getting a beer? And the answer is hell yes. Hell yes. I am open to it way more than you can imagine, but I won't. You know why? Because it's a simple formula. Smoke a joint, drink a beer, do a line, live in a park. Smoke a joint, drink a beer, do a line, live in a park. Because, see, if you know Mark Horvath, if you know Hardly Normal, I do everything to the extreme, everything. And I have an addictive personality. So I know, and here's the thing about addiction. And the brain tricks you. If you've had a really bad day, the brain says, you know what, go smoke a joint, drink a beer, man. You deserve it. You had a really bad day. And then if you have a really good day, the brain says, go smoke a joint, drink a beer. You had a good day. You deserve it. So the brain is always telling me, smoke a joint, drink a beer, do a line, live in a park. Because once I smoke a joint, and I know I can handle it, once I drink a beer, I know I can handle it. But then something happens to my mom, or something happens that is just heartbreaking, or something good happens, like I just said. And then I party. I'm going to have 3 beers and 4 beers. Next thing you know, I'm drinking a case of beer again. And yes, I'm the guy that used to take a hit of acid and drink a case of beer and go driving in my 70 Chevelle. Swear to God. And that's scary. It's sick. So to answer your question, for me, I have to totally abstain from drugs. That's what works for me. I have friends that smoke weed. I have, now, I got to tell you, because this is my first time being in Colorado when weed is legal. I notice people smoking back when I weed wasn't legal. I would notice people, but not like now. I mean, and I don't mean it's like more. It's like I notice them. It's like, oh, it's legal here. No wonder they're walking down passing it. And it's just me. So, there's some people that, say, well, I drink for the taste. Okay. Well, I liked, uh, water, but I never sat down and drank a case of water. But I've drank a lot of cases of beer. And what happens is you lose your reasoning. Once I know I can handle a joint, watch some TV, play some video games. I do think about this from time to time. But then I have a beer, I have 2 beers, I have 3 beers, I have 4 beers. Somebody puts a line of Coke in front of me and it's all over. And I'm back in. I'm back in it. So it's none for me. So Eddie says that's why she drinks non-alcoholic. So even non-alcoholic has a little bit of alcohol in it. I actually, uh, what I do is a Virgin Mary, which is not a white Russian, a Bloody Mary with no vodka, and it still has a little bit of a kick because of the hot sauce, but it makes you feel like you're still drinking if you're in a crowd like that. Hey, folks, I still see people in the chat room fundraising and stuff. And please don't send anybody money you do not know. Please don't do it. Please. I mean, uh, go to our online support group. You can't fundraise. Our first rule is you can't fundraise in the support group, but there are people that will help you find food banks, and different things, right? Somebody in this chat room could be in Nigeria or Ethiopia or whatever, conning you to send money. So please don't send money to anybody unless you know them, or there's somebody like Addie or Derek or myself that can validate, oh, I know that person. They really need help. Please, please, please. Hey, young Buddha, I'm doing that now. I left last week's up. I'll leave this week's up. There was some. I had a stalker for 8 years, but I just won a court case against him. So that was part of the reason. The other part, this live streaming stuff, I mean, it's nerve wracking. You get so self conscious, you know, because it's permanent. I mean, when I make them stupid faces, they're there, and like somebody complained that my face is too close to the screen. Well, I gotta read the comments. I can't read them from back here, you know what I mean? So as I've said over the last year, now that this is public, as I've said over the last year, this is for you guys. We've been chatting on Sunday nights. It's been wonderful. I'm so grateful for all the support you guys have given to me and invisible people. It truly has been a blessing. But if you want to talk about something, if you guys want me to go back and producing a show. I mean, I can go back to making a weekly show if that's what you guys want. So just let me know what you guys want, either here or in the community section on YouTube or on Twitter is the best way to get a hold of me. Deanna just said a great suggestion. Deanna from Chicago, go to a local church, police station, they can direct you. You on the internet, there's lots of different ways. So summer dawn, I get it. You're in ministry. That's great. This is Invisible People Chat. This is not a place for people to fundraise. I don't fundraise. Nobody should come in here asking for money. And part of it is just because Summer Dawn, I believe you know what you're doing, right? But I am responsible because if somebody came in here and said, give me money, and you all start giving them money, and it turns out that the person is not being honest, I'm responsible. Then I am responsible. Okay. And I if you want to send money to somebody, that is your thing. It's your money. You're going to be blessed by doing it. But you also have to use wisdom. And somebody just claiming they need money on an internet chat room is not something that can be validated enough that you guys should just go do it. Maybe the person is in desperate need of food. Well, you know what? I know in most cities in the United States of America that you can go downtown and you can find food. Okay. There is food insecurity in this country. It's usually seniors, families that are housed, but they don't have enough money for food. That's where the food insecurity is. There's plenty of food in most every single urban city downtown. Yeah, Deanna, some like Los Angeles. Deanna's suggesting 311. In Los Angeles, it's 211. I mean, look what happened on GoFundMe. I mean, they scam people out of $400,000, $500,000. It was all planned. I mean, and people bought it for a long time, right? That here's this homeless guy that went and a girl ran out of gas and he gave her his last 20 and they did a GoFundMe and it raised $500,000. And it turns out to all be fake. Come on, you know? Hi, I rifle 87. We're here. We're gonna be here. How much more time? We got about another 12 minutes left. Masmorny, there's several people in this chat room that are homeless with desperate need. Please respect me and people here. This is not a place to fundraise. Derby Trout, hugs. Everybody give Derby Trout a hug. Hey, Ricky. I see ya. Leslie, I'm trying to get to LA soon. So if anybody here is new turning in, if anybody is just tuning in, does tuning in even count anymore? And you didn't tune in to anything. You clicked on something, right? Um, this week, by the 22nd, we are going to be uploading at least one VR 180 video of Eric panhandling. So it's going to be awesome. And should I do? Would you guys want to watch like the premiere? There's this premiere feature where you upload it and you schedule it, and everybody watches together and you comment. Would you guys like something like that? Should I do that? I haven't tried that feature before. Derby Trout, you're welcome. Hugs are good. Hey, I don't know how to pronounce your name, so I'll say hey back at you. You're saying hello from Portugal. Hey, Butterfly with Hope. I love that name. Congratulations on 1 year sober. We have an online support group you can find at wearevisible.com. It's a Facebook support group. It's only for homeless people. If you're not homeless or do not have lived experience of homelessness, please go someplace else. Hey, Nick, are you saying you can smell me in Minnesota? And your point is? Hey, Vicky. So here's the thing, and I thought about this girl's been, Vicky asked, should I kick somebody out for fundraising? And the answer is going to be yes, because this is not a place for fundraising. And for the reasons I've already stated, um, if people want to fundraise on their own channels, I know you do some fundraising. I've donated to your fundraising before. That's fine. But Vicky, if I know you're homeless, I know you. Vicky writes for Invisible People. Um, if you had a desperate need, I would be able to vouch for you. There used to be, I don't know what happened to it. There used to be an online fundraising where it was the person in need and then it had to have somebody else vouching for them. I thought that was very unique. But this person who's been requesting money for food, it's electronic panhandling. We don't know who the person is. They very well could be in desperate need of food. They could be very well be in the Philippines, or they could be in, Kansas or someplace just lying getting money. I mean, there's all, I'm going to tell you, since I started taking care of my mom, we get probably 10 to 20 phone calls a day of people trying to take advantage of senior citizens. It's the same thing here. A different story. You're basically spamming people for money. Hi, I need money. And somebody with a soft heart will send money. They call my mom 10 to 20 times a day. They've gotten to the point now when I answer the phone, well, my mom's in a nursing home, so she's never going to answer the phone. But when I answer the phone, they hang up. They only want to talk to her because they know senior citizens may not fully understand and may give them the information that they need to do identity theft or, I caught a couple of things on my mom's credit card because she had given them the information. And this is the life we live in. Just because somebody says, they are in need doesn't mean that they're being honest about it. Hey, sweet June, that's very cool that you're doing that on your channel. Okay, we're coming down to the last 5 minutes. So let's see. Next Sunday. Okay, next Sunday might not happen. I'm going to be on a plane headed home. I don't think I'm going to get home in time to do it. So next Sunday, let's say no live chat. The week after, it's on. So in 2 weeks, I'll see you. Young Buddha, it's funny because as I was talking about fundraising, I knew this was going to come up at some point. At some point, I would like to do a telethon and do some fundraising here where my channel, and you guys all know me, and it's been validated. And a lot of the money goes to help fight homeless. All of the money goes to help fight homelessness. Um, so down the road, there might be some longer videos or live streams. Right now, I think about an hour is all I can take. We've gone about an hour and a half before, and it was so draining. Uh, Army of Gog. I love that name. I had a situation today where I was walking around handing out socks, and there was a woman, and she was down on the curb, and I went to talk to her, and she was definitely in need of psychiatric care, and it was she looked as normal as could be. The other thing I find interesting is you'll see people out on the streets having a psychotic episode of some kind. Everybody's avoiding them, and I'll go up and say hello, and they, oh, how are you? And we'll have a little conversation, and we part, and they go back to their. I don't know what that is about the brain. One of the things that really it's going to stick with me. I'm walking around downtown Denver. I haven't been here in 5 years. I'm looking for new, places where homeless people hang out. And there was an older man, maybe my age. I'm an older man, and he was flying a sign. By the time I crossed the street, he had sat down. He had his shirt off. From a distance, I didn't even know if I was going to go talk to him because I didn't know how safe he was. It is hot outside. And as I was crossing the street over to him where he sat down, you could tell that he was just depressed, exhausted, wanted to give up. He put his hat on the ground, and I talked to him for a little bit. He didn't want to talk for very long. And as I walked away, just the image of him sitting on the curb with his head in his hands was heartbreaking. Truly, truly, truly heartbreaking. Vicky, that's a homeless woman that just gave $10. Thank you, Vicky. Thank you very much. My gosh. So behind the scenes, majority we have a whole new invisible people happen because of a donation from Haynes and a good friend of mine who gave a very large donation. But majority of the money that comes into Invisible People is $1, $2, $5 donations. And I'm blown away by that because I know it's people low income who can't afford anything more, but they give from the heart, and it means the world to me. Vicky, you mess me up in a good way. Hey, Kim, glad that it all worked out for you. Young Buddha, I'm laughing. I probably got to kill the I probably have to get I'm going to do something. I should have done this earlier. You know what we're going to do? Oh my gosh. I'm online. Yeah. I just went, yeah. No. Summer Dawn, I would not send money to that person. I just looked at their YouTube channel. I do not believe. I'm not going to say I don't believe. There's no proof. There's nothing. Normally, homeless people that are online have some videos and some different stuff. You know what I mean? No more fundraising on Invisible People chat room. So, and what got me is, uh, yeah, I won't go into it. But I'm pretty street smart, and there's a few signs that would put me into caution here. Good looking honky, well, interesting name. There's a bunch of people that are now video blogging. Addie does it. Charlie, who's got a job now, they it provides value and self worth and something to do and purpose. I mean, I watched a little bit of Charlie today. He's walking around Pasadena live streaming. Wow, TTUTT911. I'm going to end with this. And it's a good question. It's a really, really good question. TTU22911. Interesting name there. Says, from your view, what prevents homeless people from committing suicide? I don't have a good answer for that. What I do know, and you'll see me, I would say tangible social interaction. So there's a woman in Australia. Her name is Natalie. She's part of our online support group now. Natalie was having a meltdown. This is about 9 years ago. She was suicidal and she was homeless at the time. And I talked her into going on Skype. And I got her in video chat. And I think we talked for an hour. She'll tell you that I saved her life. But the truth is, I'm just an old fat guy that had an hour to kill and was smart enough to ask her to do a video chat. So I think this is, for those of us around somebody, there's signs. People give signs. Hey, Lauren, oh my gosh, God bless you. There's people that give signs they're having very destructive thoughts. We need to be aware of those signs. And then we need to be able to provide tangible social interaction. I love crisis text line. It's amazing. If any of you have those thoughts, send a text to crisis text line. If you're interested in this conversation and you would like to volunteer, you can volunteer from your computer. And after a little bit of training, you could be a counselor for people that are having all kinds of crisis and need to talk to somebody. I highly recommend that. So to directly answer your question, I think it's us. You know what I mean? I think it's us being there when somebody needs help and listening to them. I know that's why our online support group is so important. I mean, it's that important to me. I've been really, really negative, and I've stopped. I can't. People judge you for so we're at 106. We're going long tonight. We all say vulnerability is a strength now, but when you go and say I'm hurting, people stop respecting you, or they think you're weird or different or something. And so I used to be very vulnerable on Twitter and Facebook. I've stopped a little bit, a lot. And now I'm just going to be vulnerable in our online support group. I mean, really vulnerable. So for me, being able to share my feelings with a group of peers really makes a world of difference. Really makes a world of difference. Derby Trout, I am sorry. I remember you said you're homeless. Please join us on our online support group for homeless people. And Mr. Danny Bergman, no, LL Lonely Lad. That's not funny. Okay, folks, how many of you? 167 still online. We've been doing this for a year. I'm now going live with it. I'm announcing, well, I've always been live, but like publicly, what we did these and then I unlisted. Now the sun's been going down or it's going to rain. Sorry, I don't have any lights. So I'm now going to post these publicly, leave them up. We try to do them every Sunday night. If you have show ideas or anything else, please, tweet me at Hardly Normal or in the community section of YouTube. Respond. I will try to answer. Bobby M, no, I do not get paid. I'm actually unemployed without health care. And for some of you might went, oh, that's cool. No, it's not. What it means is that there's without full-time staff, we can't reach our potential. And, I believe we're going to hit 300,000 subs in a very short time. I'm going to sit back because there's more light. The corner of the window is open. We're going to hit 300,000 subs in a couple of months. I'm guessing maybe 400,000 subs by the end of the year. Social Blade says, I think we're going to get 1 million in 3 years. But Social Blade isn't always right, because Social Blade says we make thousands of money and there's no ads on hardly any of the videos. There is on this, but not on the interview videos. So we make about 200 a month on ads, which we use to go and caption for people that are hearing impaired. Soon, I believe there's total control in the house. I believe, thanks to all of you guys, somehow, some way, I'm 58 years old. I lose my health insurance. What happens is I'm no longer going to, my dad did something and I'm no longer going to qualify for Obamacare. So I am 58 years old. There are certain medications I need, and in 30 days, I can't afford them. So I believe that we're going to, when I say we, the invisible people community, we're going to figure out a way in the next couple months to maybe not hire me yet, but at least afford healthcare. I need healthcare, oh my gosh. Anyways, folks, I know a couple people like Total Control just joined. Vicky, thanks for the love. I think there was Lauren, thank you for the love. Thank you, everybody. There's going to be no live stream tomorrow. Not tomorrow. There's going to be no live stream next Sunday, but we'll be doing it the week after. And again, you guys want to chat during the week, at me at Hardly Normal. I do the best I can to respond. Have a marvelous week, everybody.